It's about time to start. We've got more committee members here than we do people who are presenting bills, and we've got 4 who's supposed to be presenting bills, and we've only had 1 show up.
I'll move his, move down the rest.
We will start with a couple of things. I'd like to welcome y'all. This is the first full insurance committee meeting. Please go ahead and turn off your cell phones. You're not, well, you don't text loud. I would like to start promptly at 8 o'clock so we can get finished. We have a lot to cover and other meetings that we all have to go to. I'm going to ask Representative Neal, would you open us with prayer, please, sir?
For the opportunity to get this day off to a good start. And Lord, we just pray that you would be with us throughout this meeting today, not only this meeting, but throughout the day, giving us wisdom and guidance, enabling us, Lord, through this day to look out for the best interest of those who we're here to represent and not follow after our own agendas. And we give you the praise as you give us that kind of wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thanks, sir. Couple of things. There's a couple of people I'd like to introduce you to and let them make a few comments to tell who they are so you'll get to know them. First off is Representative John Carson, new to the, what's your number? Tell everybody a little bit about you so especially that group out there get to know you, and we get to work with you a little bit, so they need to know you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've met a number of you. My name is John Carson. Took over from Northeast Cobb County. My background is a CPA. I understand a little bit about insurance and risk and allocations and so forth. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Jay, would you get up to the podium and let's see, which one are you?
I do not know.
Okay. Okay, now try.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Jay Florence. I've met, I think, a lot of y'all. I am the new legislative liaison with the Department of Insurance, replacing Ron Jackson there.
Did I hear you say the new and improved Ron Jackson?
That's what the commissioner calls it.
Oh, that's what
okay. It's unproven at this point.
Okay.
But I came to the department about a year ago, and then when Ron left, I was working as an enforcement attorney there. And when Ron left, the commissioner tapped me to do this job. So I'm looking forward to working with y'all, and let me know if I can do anything.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
One thing, when you call, he does respond. So I would encourage you, if you have any questions, to get in touch with him. One other person I want to introduce you to, Elizabeth, where are you? This is Elizabeth Bettis, our new intern. Tell them a little bit about yourself. Go down to the microphone. Well, we'd like to embarrass people early in the morning time.
Good morning. My name's Elizabeth. I'm a senior at Georgia State, and I'm so blessed to be here. I've been placed in a wonderful office, and I've met several of you, so I look forward to meeting the rest of y'all. Also, just a reminder, this early in the morning, there's a couple of y'all who haven't turned in your confidentiality forms, so I'll be seeing you after the meeting. They're in your packet, so, you know, you got a minute. It's the H's, I'll say that.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so we've gotten with the preliminaries over. One thing I would like to remind you that the public hearings are held during the subcommittees, not during the full committee. During full committee, the only ones who can ask questions are those who are on the committee. Okay? So as long as everybody understands that. So we'll start off with Representative Peake, who is the only one here thus far with the bill. We're ready. You want to go to the table? That'll be fine. That'll be fine. This is House Bill 785.
We're on, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, you're on.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. In my 6 years of being in the legislature, I think this is my first time in front of the full insurance committee, so glad to be here and appreciate the opportunity. First meeting, so I know you guys have at it, so we're your first one for the morning, and we welcome a good debate, healthy debate about this bill. I bring before you today House Bill 785. I'm not a physician. I'm an old CPA and now a business owner. But one thing I do recognize is that we have a serious need in our state for more physicians, and reaching a point where there's a critical shortage of physicians. Dr. Watson, my colleague from the Savannah area, can address it better than I can, and I hope that you'll have an opportunity for him to speak as well too. But right now we're 41st in the entire country in total physicians per capita and 45th in primary care, and there's a real concern that that there is a move toward tying licensure for physicians to being contingent on committing to various types of payment programs. And what this bill basically does is mandates that medical licensure remain a function of skill, competence, and training, which is what it should be based on. Licensure for physicians should be based on whether the physician can do the job. And that should be the one factor in licensure. It mandates that physicians not be required to participate in third-party reimbursement programs as a condition of that licensure. This is a proactive effort to protect the consumer and physician practice environment, making sure that Georgians continue good access to good physician care, physicians that are licensed by skill and competence, not by whether they are participating in a particular payment program. And that's really the nuts and bolts of the bill. Very simple bill. It's passed, the exact same bill went through the Senate. It's passed the Senate, I think, with 4 nay votes yesterday. And so we're just having this same bill come through the House, tracking the House as well, too. I'll either defer some questions or allow Dr. Watson to...
Dr. Watson, would you like to make a comment?
Thank you for allowing me to be here, Chairman. I really don't have a lot to add to that. I mean, I do think that the critical shortage that we have, this is a piece of the puzzle. You know, the governor's proposition about expanding health care residency spots in the state is also another part. Expanding medical schools slots also is another part. I think this is a piece of the puzzle.
Okay, we've got a question on 17. Identify who you are and...
This is Representative Carolyn Hughley. Mr. Chairman, it's more of a comment than a question. The author of the bill almost needed a doctor as he crossed the street this morning trying to come, so that lets us know how important he thinks this bill is.
I did. I had one of the DNR officials almost kill me this morning. You're right.
Yeah, he almost got ran over.
I guess they thought I was a buck. I don't know.
Does anyone else have a question for the author? Okay, proper time.
Well, I do have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just trying to understand here. We had some discussion on this before, I remember, but so we've got the licensure board right here, the Composite Medical Board, Georgia Board of Dentistry, responsible for license, but we've got other groups or private health insurance plans or whatever that's saying you can't participate, you can't practice unless you join us. Is that basically what we're trying to fix here?
Well, we're just trying to almost preempt to make sure that there's never a scenario in which the licensure board would have their hands tied where they were only able to grant licensure based on a contingency that a physician would provide a certain insurance, participate in a particular insurance reimbursement program. And
I didn't know of that happening now, but we're trying to preempt it.
That's correct. We're trying to be on ahead of the game, make sure that doesn't happen. So,
thank you, sir.
It's really more of an economic piece, really, to make sure that future physicians don't look at our state and go, well, I'm not going to go there because I may have my hands tied. And so,
thank you, sir.
Okay, number 24.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do like the bill. I think it's really good. And as I read it and looked over it, I wondered, is there any need to include any other medical providers, such as nurse practitioners? Right now, I don't want to change anything, but is this something in the future we might need to look at?
It may be something we may need to look at. I'll let Dr. Watson address that. Maybe
Thank you.
If you want to take that one.
You know, most nurse practitioners or physician's assistants are tied to physicians in their reimbursement mechanism. Right now, that probably is not needed, but that may be something, whether it's a podiatrist or others, that may need to be addressed in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't see no more questions. I hear. Property. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I appreciate your favor.
Don't forget to turn your information into rules.
Yes, sir. Sure will.
Look both ways.
Thank you.
Yeah, look both ways before you cross.
And I will. Thank you.
There's one other little bill in here. I don't see Representative Hembry or Dollar yet. Let's see. House Bill 640. Yeah, it's Carl Rogers' bill. He asked that I carry this for him if he couldn't make it, but I've got someone who was a whole lot more qualified than me to explain what this issue does. So I'm going to ask Lynn Witten if she'll come up to the microphone and kind of explain to y'all what this 6 or 8 word cross through and the 3-word underline means.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I understand this may be my first and only bill before the committee, so thank you. A couple of years ago, we had a bill, and there was a last hour floor amendment wherein I made a mistake, and we were restoring the original language that was in the code, and we missed a piece of it. And that is what you have before you, is that missed piece. And it cannot be corrected through the Code Commission. It has to be done through a bill. And so I ask you that I not have to deal with this every year and admit my mistake again every time the code comes up for the revision in the summer. So this is all this bill does, is restore the original language that was in the code at the time.
Okay, but don't leave. The
Okay.
board is lit up. Number 21. Howard, I think that's you.
Yes, ma'am. I don't have this code section in front of me. Can you go through step by step the 33, 36, 20 code section and explain that to me exactly what we're doing?
Respectfully, sir, I cannot do that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Oh, you got more questions?
Okay.
Number 29.
Thank you. Now, when you were introduced this morning to us, you were introduced as Lynn. Yesterday, I think you referred to as Mary. Just wanted to make sure on the record that we know exactly who you are.
Well, this morning I'm going by Lynn. So.
Okay, let's see. One more and then we'll vote on this thing.
Okay,
Lynn, on line 15, you have the bill in front of you?
I do.
On line 15, are you putting a period after million? Because it looks like it's
Yes.
got a comma.
We're adding a, wait a minute.
It looks like you're adding both a comma and a period.
Okay,
what that is?
these bifocals aren't,
Well, it's two. There's 2 underlines, and I can't tell what's being scratched there. And that's a serious question, because if it's a period, then we need to capitalize the next word.
I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate your diligence in this matter, but I'm thinking that it should be a semicolon, and I'm sorry, I just don't know the answer to that question, but I think it's a semicolon.
Okay. So y'all
Well,
put
because we don't want any more mistakes in this bill, I assure you, but
Well, that's why I wanted to ask. I mean,
yeah.
it's,
Let
so
me go.
you say that is a semicolon.
I'm
and
trying
take
to
out
see
the
where
comma.
the strike is, and I'm. Can y'all tell it's a semicolon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
are we striking the semicolon and adding the comma? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, let me.
Okay. I know it's early for everyone, but looked a little strange to me.
It does look strange, and I apologize for not knowing the answer to this, but it looks like we're striking a semicolon and we're adding a comma. But I know it looks like a period.
There you go. That's what I saw.
that-
So just make sure that is a comma, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman.
Okay. Comma after 25 million. Okay, we got one more.
Okay.
Okay, he scratches. Okay. Well, I think that's the end of the questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion of any kind? Move to pass second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. All right, very good. Thank you. Yeah, I saw that. Representative Hembry, you have House Bill 786. Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I have to say I just experienced an insurance seminar on I-285. I'm okay. I was viewing an accident on the way in, so I apologize for my lateness. One of the daily adventures of a commute into downtown Atlanta. I'd like to talk to you very quickly about House Bill 786. This is a great bill. It was brought to me by the Office of Consumer Affairs. I'll give you just a quick brief history. Back in the Roy Barnes era, there was an Office of Insurance Consumer Advocate that was created by Governor Barnes, which in a way kind of duplicated what the Insurance Commissioner's Office does. When Governor Perdue was elected in 2004, he no longer funded the Office of a Consumer Advocate. It was no longer funded. But the state law still required all insurance companies to send their filings to the Office of a Consumer Advocate. So for the past 7 years, these insurance companies have had to send these filings to this department that no longer is funded, basically doesn't exist. So the Office of Consumer Affairs, somebody finally said, hey, look, please try to stop this. Just to give you an example, the third quarter of last year, they received 28 bankers' boxes of filings from insurance companies. And what they do, they just have to put them in cubicles or file them, send them to the state warehouse. So basically what this bill says is that insurance companies no longer have to send their filings to this Office of Insurance Advocate. If it ever is funded again, then they'll have to send them back there. But basically it's just trying to help out with efficiency in government, cut down on the cost to state government and the insurance companies, and it just makes sense. For the past 7 years, these insurance companies have had to send all these filings to an office that doesn't exist.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? I don't see anything. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you to the author of the bill. Why would we not just get rid of the office altogether?
That's the governor's prerogative. I'm just trying to help out with the overflow of information.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, got to move, do pass. Here a second. I hear a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. All right, do pass. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody see Representative Dollar. Tell him he needs to wake up.
He doesn't do 8 o'clock.
He doesn't do 8 o'clock meetings. He does if you're going to get this bill passed.
Isn't he on our committee?
Yeah, he's on our committee. Yeah. Okay. Well,
It's going to be archived too.
yeah. Unless anybody else have any further business, meeting's adjourned. Hold on.